Hi everybody, we are receiving today Mr. Dean Linden, Business Development Manager from Falco Pacific, which is so far an exploration company, but we'll know a little bit more about that. Mr. Linden, good day.
Good day, Michelle. Good to be here.
So you're very welcome. Let us know about the company. I want you to tell it to me because I read so many things out there, and actually, to tell you the truth, I didn't know really the company. Just saw the name a couple of times, but I didn't know you had that much, and you were that close, and you to the big project up north, and you had also a partner, Osisko as a partner. So I'm very surprised about that. Tell us more about your company.
So the group was put together a couple of years ago by some senior guys from Lakeshore and also from West Timmins, and they really have had an affinity and some success in the Abitibi, and so they put together the company and looked around for a project, and they looked at some things in Africa, looked around the world a little bit, and when the opportunity came to acquire the birthplace of Noranda, when that came across Darren Wagner's desk, needless to say, he got fairly enthusiastic about the idea. We entered into a competitive bidding process for those assets, and were fortunate enough to come away with that. And in the process, we were able to get Osisko to come on board as about a 18.5% partner in it. So, and since that time, we've been able to very rapidly move on the project, and have found that we're in a fairly gold-rich area, despite the fact that Noranda always exploited it as a base metal opportunity. We're looking at it specifically for the gold opportunity, and we're finding that it's quite immense.
Yeah, the price of gold quite changed since Noranda did it.
Yeah.
It was $300 approximately at the time. And where's the mine? Not the mine, but where your land are located near Osisko?
So our property is 728 square kilometers, massive land package, and it's the former holdings of Noranda, and so for the challenge for us early on was, when you're a small junior company and you've got 728 square kilometers, 14 former producing mines,
you can't drill it all at once.
You can't drill it all. You can't do, so we decided to start at the start, and the start for us was the same place the start was for Noranda. It was in that Horne complex. So it was the old Horne Mine, Cumont, and some of the zones that exist within that area. And we started very simply. We went back and we acquired, along with the acquisition, 14 million meters of drill data, digitized drill data, as well as 250 bankers boxes of old Noranda reports and drill results and whatnot. And we started there, and we dug into it, and we were quite surprised with what we found. We were able to sort of discover that in the Horne 5 region of that complex, there's no less than 6.75 million ounces of gold. The deposit's massive at Horne 5.
This is all historical data.
Yeah, it's not 43101 compliant, but it is Noranda's historical data. So, they were spending their own money back in those days. They weren't, they weren't promoting anything. They were drilling, looking for high-grade copper, and
they did not have the science that we have today also to make all the calculation, because they have new process. They made new process since that time, so there might be some new calculation done about this. Do they still have those carats that they have the historical data about?
They've got.
Do they have the materials still?
They've got
samples.
There's a significant core farm that's available to us. So we're off for a small company. This deal closed in September. We've made incredible strides in the brief time that we have without turning a drill. Really, this is just going back into the vault. This data hadn't been looked at for 20-some years, and we were able to exploit it and come up with some. Really quite alarming data, and there's 92 million ounces of silver in Horne 5. The deposit itself is 167 million tons. It ranks as probably one of the top 10 VMS deposits in the whole world. The historic production out of the Horne 5 zone is only 200,000 tons. and that was about.
But the grade is pretty low, so at the time the price, the cost of exploiting was less, but the price of gold was much less also. So maybe a low grade gold wasn't really interesting at the time.
Well, there are high grade lenses throughout this, and we're able to sort of map it. There's believe it or not, there's 9,000 drill holes into Horne 5 and infrastructure that goes all the way down to the 2,800.
So you can't raise an cow out there.
So there's infrastructure there. There's we're able to sort of go and digitize these 9,000 drill holes and take a really a look at this project. It would be difficult for me to imagine a junior company ever able to sort of put together a model of a historic resource the way we're going to be able to do it. It's 9,000.
If you would have to do it today, it would be virtually impossible to do. It would take so much money.
There's probably, by today's numbers, there's about $150 million worth of infrastructure that's put there. In terms of the shafts and the drifts that
is there a shaft there already and a mining facility?
They built a full infrastructure there all the way down to 2,800 meters and mined 200,000 tons out of it. And incidentally, the gold grade on that 200,000 tons was 7 grams for gold. So it's high grade, and we know from the area, we know from what Agnico's been able to do just down the road from us, that the deeper you go in this area, the higher the gold grade gets. This is at 2,800 meters. It's still open. I'm not sure that's relevant. That's getting pretty deep, but they've
your project make me think a little bit at Methanol, which revived an old mine, and it's about what you're trying to do too. So it's an old mine that you're putting back to life. You want to put back to life?
Well, I don't know if we'll put it back to life, but we're certainly enjoying the opportunity to explore it. Interestingly, too, about Horne 5 is it's a zone that was looked at extensively, obviously, by Noranda from a copper perspective, and it disappointed them. But from a gold perspective, it makes all the sense in the world. Because it wasn't really mined, there's nothing that's been taken out of there that shouldn't have been taken out of there. When we look at this, it's less an exploration project now and more an economic and engineering exercise. What is the best way to approach this? Do we high grade it? Can we bulk mine it? What do those two scenarios look like?
Is it possible to mine it but send it to another mill like the Osisko?
Well, it's remarkable.
Is it close enough?
When you look at the infrastructure that surrounds us, there's a smelter right on the site. There's a mill right on the site, both belonging to Xstrata. Osisko's down the road.
Which are operating right now?
The smelter is operating. Yeah,
okay.
they're but they've got capacity. Osisko, Agnico, IM Gold, all of which have infrastructure and capacity. So we are sort of surrounded by some of the best, mining companies in the world that are.
So you have the choice, and you can make a calculation. Is it worthwhile to revive the old mine, or you can just simply take the material and bring it to another mining company?
Yes, exactly.
Or sell it to another mining company. Can we know how much you paid for that that property?
Yeah, we were able to secure the 720 square kilometers. Which includes the Horne block, we like to call it, as well as the western and eastern camps, for $5 million and 7 million shares.
Oh, the size of it, it's pretty cheap, and the size and the location.
We spend a lot of time these days grumbling about the way the market's gone and how difficult it is to sort of move the needle. But I think in this case, we've used that to our advantage. The opportunity presented itself, which in a great market probably wouldn't have presented itself in this manner. So we've been very fortunate. We've found ourselves a way to become buyers in this market, which we feel very fortunate.
How many outstanding share do you have in FPC Falcon Pacific?
About 45 million shares.
45 million. Okay.
Yeah, and we've got no warrants, so we're and most of a lot
Which
of
is less than most of the company that have hundreds of millions.
Yeah, we put together this deal in a very tough market. It closed in September, and it was a very tough market. So we were able to, put it together in a way that with shareholders that understood that it was, that we had not a lot of sunshine. We're trying to grind it out, and we were able to put this together in a way with great shareholders. So Osisko came on board for about 18.5% of the company. About 40% of the stock is escrowed for the next 3 years. So we've got with that combined with the fact that we don't have warrants outstanding, makes us a fairly tight operation from a capital markets perspective.
So the 5 looks pretty. The chart looks pretty good so far. The bottom was 30 cents, and now it's 50 cents. You had a little correction here in the last part of February with the lowest volume possible. So it seems like the stock has been supported a little bit, and since it's a new project and there isn't that many outstanding share, I think chances are great to maybe to push the value of the stock a little bit later. What are the next step that you are in right now?
So I talked a little bit about the 9,000 drill holes that are in Horne 5 and the infrastructure and whatnot. We're going to work really diligently over the next few months here to put together a 3D model of what that zone looks like. So it's there, we should be able to put color around this, the likes of which very few junior companies would ever have the opportunity to do. At that point in time, we're going to probably evaluate, along with an engineering firm that we hire, in order what we're going to do to bring this into modern day compliance, 43101. Mm-hmm. And so that's really what we've got to be able to do. The nice thing about this project, because there's so much historical data, we can learn a great deal about where we want to work and how we want to approach this without spending very much money.
You have a lot to learn about what about the historical data that you have, and so you're not in a very big drilling campaign right now. You have a lot of paperwork to do and computer work to do with what you already got, I guess.
Exactly. We can, like as you said, we can make a lot of hay here without spending very much money. And when we do begin turning the drills there, it's going to be very methodical and very surgical about the way we do it.
But you can use this historical data for avoiding drilling just anywhere and go get some precision at some places according to the data that you already have.
I think exactly. We can afford to be extremely surgical and very efficient with the way we drill this in a way that unfortunately, juniors are not usually able to do. We've been blessed with a very comprehensive database that is going to guide us through this process and be able to bring this into compliance.
So you have 2.8 million in cash right now, not too much overhead?
No, I mean we're a very lean machine. I mean we're a lot of the things that we're able to do, because a lot of this is digitizing this data and building out this model, we're able to do it with outside consultants. So we're able to sort of run on very little money. Yeah.
And of course, whenever you take the next decisions about what you're going to do next, there will be some more drilling, there will be some more negotiation or whatever, and you will certainly need some more money sooner or later.
We're in the exploration business, and that is a capital intensive business. I don't think there's any way around it. But yeah, I mean make no mistake, we've got 14 former producing mines here, all of which deserve to be looked at again through a modern, using modern economics, using modern technology, and there's no way we're going to be able to do that with $2.8 million. And so we're under no illusions, that when the opportunity presents itself, we're probably going to go get some money, and or I think the other opportunity is we're able to joint venture some of these things or take a look at a lot of the opportunities.
Many others did so far. Some company got money from Sandstorm and
Agnico just did something today.
And sold some of their production in advance. So they could be there possibility for a deal like that with Agnico. I don't know about Osisko if they have the kind of money to do that, because their own stock is struggling a little bit right now, as most of the stocks, the gold stock, are having difficulties at the moment. But I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the way I look at everything you have there, the potential is there. It just depends how favorable the market will be, and you know, you need a little bit of help on this side. But still, the price of gold is 1,600, so. The potential remains there.
It's hard. It was difficult for me to imagine a couple of years ago when things were really sort of solid with the juniors, that if you said that, you know, gold was going to be $1,600, that we would see that we had gone through this much difficulty with the junior miners and the seniors, the producers for that matter. So, you know, things. This is a cyclical business, and you know, we're positioned in a way that it's difficult for us to. This couldn't have gone much better for us from a fundamental standpoint. So now we've just got to you know, get through this and you know, put some more ounces on the board.
Mr. Linden, I'll put you on my favorite list so we can watch you going. Please leave us informed of, keep us informed of any new development in the company. I think it's very interesting. And I'm glad we had you over here. Thank you very much for coming.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me, Michelle.
Thank you.
All right.